All right, welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers. We got college basketball weekend. That's all we're focusing on right now. We got college hoops. We'll go over quickly last night. We had a couple solid plays last night. I go back to my old favorite play of the late week. I always hit Binghamton. Binghamton, my old stomping grounds.
Your old hood.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're a covering machine. I don't care. They just cover. I don't care who they play. They covered last night. Then we had a little 3-game parlay with Vermont, Maryland, and Gonzaga. Boom, plus 125 max bet. That was solid. So we ended up having a pretty good Thursday night considering there weren't a lot of games. Maryland looking very good right now. We just talked about that.
Yep.
One of the best front lines in the country. I mean, average guards, but just down low. They just pound you.
It's kind of like a couple guys like you and me down there, Howie.
Yeah.
Big down low.
Down low. Just taking up space.
That's right.
So we go into Friday, and today for a Friday is a pretty decent slate. Not bad. They're back to stacking Ivy Leagues on Friday.
I was gonna say a lot of mid majors tonight.
Yeah, I like it. And I mean, I'll right off the bat, 6:00 game, and this one just jumped out at me because you have New York City's own Columbia not having a bad year for the Ivy League, but they got to go up to New Hampshire and play Dartmouth. Dartmouth -2 at home. I don't know if you know this about Dartmouth, but they cover all the time. Dartmouth is a covering machine. So, Steve, I like that right off the bat. That's a game I really like. I like Dartmouth, the Big Green, hosting Columbia. I believe
7-3 their last 10. Howie, Public's all over them, but on a Friday night game, I don't think that's a deal at all. Deal breaker, at least. 88% of the money is on the whatever Dartmouth's mascot is.
The green, the Big Green.
Oh, the Big Green! Wow, you think that some nerd could have come up with a better mascot name than that, huh?
Dude, I was doing a comedy show in New York City one time, and this kid on the left, I said, dude, I go, you're in college? Where do you go to school? He goes, RPI. And I said, what's crazy about RPI is, you have like the Syracuse Big Orange, the Penn State Nittany Lions, the Auburn Tigers. I go, what are you guys? And in front of a crowd of like 80 people, he goes, we're the engineers.
The fucking nerds.
I go, the engineers, exactly. You got to love that.
Yeah.
But no,
real creative.
I like Dartmouth right off the bat.
Yep.
And then we got another one. You got Ryder and Iona, two of the best right there in that MAC. Ryder's going to Iona. Iona's laying 6.5 at home, but again, they cover.
Mm-hmm.
That's one that, you may want to use in the tease or whittle it down, maybe 2.5, but I think Iona wins that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then 7:00, you have the beast of the Ivy League playing at home, Yale, who's covered the last 9 out of 11.
Let's go.
Playing Penn, laying 17. That's a big number. It's tough to bet against Yale, though.
What is it, Howie? What's the number on it? I'm trying
17.
Wow, 17 laying against Penn, huh?
That's a big number.
Penn's typically, a decent basketball program too. 6-4 in their last 10, Howie, against the number and getting a line like that. I know Yale's a covering machine right now, 6-1 at home this season, but that's a lot of freaking points.
I'll throw another big factor in right now in that game. Why you would want to lean towards Penn. Number one, it's a big number. Number two, Yale plays their arch rival tomorrow, Princeton. That's their
tomorrow or
game.
Sunday.
I think it's tomorrow. They always play back-to-back.
Back-to-back Jacks?
Yeah. Ivy League. They play tomorrow. Yeah. They play
Bad
Princeton.
Mothers. Those geeks can do it.
And that's a huge game for them. So don't be surprised if Yale gets up 14, 15, 16. They start playing a lot of guys off the bench.
Howie, I consider myself a sports guy, and I didn't know that the Ivy League played back-to-back Jacks on Friday, Saturday. I always thought it was more of a Friday, Sunday.
That's why for a bettor, if you pay attention
and
you follow, the Ivy League's probably one of the best leagues to make money on. If you follow this back-to-back, certain teams play well back-to-back, certain teams can't play back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
But Yale is a team that I just think they're going to be looking at this Princeton game tomorrow. And Penn may sneak in and backdoor this thing here.
Howie, it's something that, again, avid sports guy. Something I learned new today. Something you guys need to start tuning into or keening in on is something like that, because any way you can get an angle in this gambling game, you got to take it and you got to jump on it. So here's great little tidbit for a Friday.
Yeah, and if you like what you hear, man, hit the like button below. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. Look, man, join the Degenerate Gamblers. Go to Whop.com. Join up.
Whop app has its own app on your smartphones.
You can be live. You can pull that Discord up. Look, let's say you're in church. You got to bet the 1 o'clock game. You just
Father Nelson.
Go to the Discord, see what we have down there. We'll give
Father Nelson's dishing out communion. We're going to be dishing out picks.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Go to the Discord because it's awesome. We have plays every night. We have live plays. We're hitting everything on there. Game tonight, we get to the MAC.
Yeah. I know which one you're about to talk about too, and this is the one I was going to ask you about because the line's a little stinky.
You think that's Marist to Siena?
Siena minus 2.5 at home. Marist is 16-5 here this year. Siena's a little bit below 500, laying points at home.
They are covering
7-3, 7-3 their last 10, 8-4 at home against the number this year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think McNamara gets these guys pumped up.
Yep,
they win at home tonight. And if you look at that conference, anyone could beat anyone. Like nobody knows who's going to win that tournament. You probably got 6 teams that could win that tournament.
Yeah.
And Siena's one of them. And Marist is probably the cream of the crop in that tournament. I'm in that league, but I like Siena tonight in this spot at home. They'll get a good crowd because we're not supposed to get a ton of snow until tomorrow. Tomorrow
afternoon into Sunday.
Good crowd tonight.
Yep.
A lot of things you need to know on that, but yeah, I have an angle. I think Siena wins that thing, and they.
I'm with you. 2.5. I'm with you.
I think Marist would be the favorite there, Steve.
Yep, you would think, but Vegas knows a little bit more about this stuff than the average Joe. So I'll lay the points. I'll take the Saints at home.
Hey, look, Marist is 5-6. They have not covered in their last 5 out of 6 games, Marist. Siena's covered their last 5 out of 6.
Yep.
You got to look at that. And they're playing at home. I like them. I like them a lot tonight. We go late, 8 o'clock, one wild game you don't normally see on Fridays, but UCLA going into Bloomington, Indiana. Indiana has not renewed the contract of Mike Woodson. He's gone after this year.
See you later, Mike.
They played loose last game. They won. They upset Michigan State at Michigan State. They're home, plus 1.5 at home. Both these teams, UCLA's playing probably better now. I think it's tough to bet against it. Indiana's just loose.
Howie circled this one. Big circle around this one, right? Let me tell you why I'm not going with the Hoosiers at home on Friday night against our Mick Cronin-led UCLA Bruins. I say our.
Okay.
UCLA won 7 out of their last 8, covered 6 out of their last 8. People are looking at that last Indiana game against Michigan at Sparty, beat Michigan State on the road on Tuesday, fresh on everybody's mind. So you're kind of feeling good, right? We're feeling good. Warm, fuzzy feelings down below about the Indiana Hoosiers. Not for me. Give me Mick Cronin. Give me his back-to-back road games. Had a tough one in Champaign against Illinois Tuesday night. They're going to come into Indiana. They're going to get the job done and then go home and rest and relax on All-Star Weekend out in L.A. for the rest of the weekend. So I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take – you might even want to dabble a little money line. You can get – wait a minute. Oh, they're laying. I'm sorry. I'm going to lay the points with UCLA. Yeah. Okay. I thought they were, yeah. Regardless, UCLA, I'm on the Bruins.
But if you're taking the Bruins, instead of laying minus 1.5, you might as well take the money line.
At minus 118.
You don't want to win by 1 and lose your job.
Exactly.
So UCLA, there it is, minus 1, going into Bloomington. Hey, I like it. I mean, it's a game I looked at, didn't have a really much of a say either way. But, yeah, I mean, UCLA's probably got the better team. And they have a chance to moving on. Let's get into
Mick Cronin's turning it up at the right time. He does it. He does it every year with every team he's had. He knows when to turn up the dial. and get his boys playing. So I'm going to back him tonight.
We get into Saturday slate, and right off the bat, 1:00. I have a game circled. I don't have a line on it yet because I don't believe there's one out. But
Howie, before we go into this game, tell me why can't Vegas give us lines for Saturday games on Friday? Why can't they do it?
I mean, they wait. I only have one going into Saturday. I have the Alabama Auburn.
Yeah, -1.5. Alabama laying 1.5. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
That's all right. This game, Vanderbilt playing at Tennessee, big rivalry. I looked at this game up and down, and there's a matchup situation here where I think Vandy's in big trouble. They're just going to get annihilated on the boards. Tennessee just has good guards. I see Vandy. I don't know if this line is 7.5, 8.5. I'll take Tennessee. I think Tennessee wins really big here in the spot.
Circled this one as well, Howie. This is a game, Vandy on the road, 3-7 in their last 10 against the number. Or I'm sorry, 3-7 in their last 10, 4-4 on the road this season against the number. Vols ranked 5th nationally in points per game given up, Howie. I think that's a huge stat here as we get into middle of February, rolling into March Madness here. I would actually, if we can get a team total line on Vandy for 70 and anything, I would say 70 and over, I'm going to take the team total under right there for Vandy. And then I also like the Vols to cover anything 10 or less. You say 8.5, I'm with you. I say if the line's anywhere between 8.5 and 10, jump on the Vols.
I agree. Another game I forgot I'm looking at too is DePaul
there's
Xavier. Xavier needs a big win this weekend. That game's at noon, but DePaul, I just think they didn't play badly last game. I think they're in trouble in this spot. Xavier's a team that just has good guards. They'll run it up and down. They'll force you to turn the ball over. I can see Xavier winning big early out of the bat on noon.
Well coached. That's a team we mentioned last episode.
They're solid. Another game here, 1:00. I actually have this one circled. You have Wisconsin going into Purdue. Purdue, very tough place to play. Wisconsin is 5-6 covering the spread against Purdue in their last 6 games. Wisconsin is one of the only teams that goes into Purdue and plays them tough. I think Purdue's going to be laying probably 5, 6, 7 points.
I say 5. I think if you can get the Boilermakers at home -5 or better, take the Boilermakers. Anything after that, like you said, Wisconsin plays them tough, whether they're home or they're on the road.
They're playing tough.
Both teams are 8-2 in their last 10 against the number, Howie. My only thing, and I kind of backed this the last time I backed the Boilermakers, coming off a loss, they seem to come out and have a little bit more enthusiasm that next game. So that's why if I'm going to get 5 or less with Purdue at home, I'm probably going to jump on that number.
I got you. I just think Wisconsin's going to play them tough. They've won their last 3, one at Northwestern, one at Iowa. They've lost. They lost on the road to UCLA and Maryland, but this team is good. I mean, they're 19-5. They're solid. I think this will be a really good game.
Good game. Good game. Both teams playing great basketball. Tough Big Ten basketball.
Another big game, man. You got it at 2:00. We got
Howie
going to Arizona.
That's one. One noon game I wanted to touch on quick. Arkansas, Texas A&M. That was a noon game I circled. Kind of one of the first ones I looked at on Saturday. A&M right now is winners of 6 out of the last 7. They're holding teams in those 7 games to an average of 63 points per game. They're locking it down on defense right now. I have to apologize here to the listeners. I called him Buzz Peterson the last time. Buzz Williams, Howie. Buzz Williams leading Texas A&M. Great coach. Has done it at Marquette, has done it at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
He's doing it at Texas A&M. And I like Texas A&M here. Not really exactly sure what the line may or may not be, but 8-4-1 at home this year against the spread is Texas A&M, and Arkansas is 2-6 on the road this year. So I'm probably going to be looking to back the Aggies at home in an early noon slate on Saturday, and possibly dabble in maybe the under, seeing where the number's at.
I got you. So you like the Aggies at home. I will say this: Arkansas has covered the spread in their last 5 out of 6 games. Last 4 in a row they've covered. They covered as a dog at Kentucky, at Texas, Alabama home, lost by 4. Line was 5. LSU laying 9.5. They won by 12. They're starting to play better. I don't know.
100%.
Yeah. So you
Covered
like
their
Texas
last-
A&M? That's
yeah.
a game I'm going to sit back and watch.
Okay.
I'm not going to lay anything on that one. We get into the 1 o'clock games. We got some Atlantic 10 games at 12, 12:30. But then we talked about Wisconsin, Purdue.
You were about to mention Houston, Arizona State. Love that game. Love that game.
So Houston, Arizona, these teams, both are just on a roll. Arizona played terrible at Kansas State Saturday, lost, but before that, they'd covered in their last 6. They were on a roll up until the Kansas State game, but now they're back at home, playing against one of my favorite teams to watch, one of the teams I have possibly winning the national championship, and that's Houston. Houston won their last 3. They're healthy now. Playing at Arizona. I think this line's probably going to be Arizona minus 2.5 or 3. That's what I'm thinking.
Wouldn't see it as anything more than that right now. Howie, look at this number. Both of these teams, Houston, winners of 16 out of their last 17. Arizona's winners of 15 out of their last 17. And these guys aren't playing cupcake schedules. You know, you're in the Big 12 here, and I don't know. These are 2 good teams. I would probably look for Arizona to be laying a little bit of wood at home in this one, but this is going to be a great game. This one might be one I sit back and watch because I think they're very evenly matched too. Both have good guard play and both can get up and down the court.
You know, Arizona lives and dies. They thrive running up and down the court, hitting threes. They're not going to be getting a lot of threes against Houston. Houston just doesn't give up threes. They throw guys into the 3rd row before they let them shoot one. They play tough.
Yep.
They force you to turn the ball over. Like I said before, I think on 25% of opposing teams' possessions, they actually force turnovers, which is crazy for any Division I team. But Arizona's playing well now, and they're good down low. Caleb Love's been playing college basketball for 19 years.
At least 19.
Howie,
Arizona's 12-5 against the number in those 17 games too. So doing well against the spread.
Yeah. This could be an interesting game. Another game I really like. You got This is a crazy game, but 2 o'clock. You got University of Vermont coming off of a solid win, a couple wins at Albany, Maine. They beat Maine at home. Now they have to go to Maine. And I'm telling you right now, I've watched this team all year long. It's not the same Vermont team. They cannot play on the road.
You've been saying that for weeks, Howie. Weeks.
Maine lost to them at Vermont. Now they got to go to Maine. If this line is 3, 4, Maine, I'll be all over the not the Bearcats. What are they?
They're the Bearcats, right?
Maine, yeah.
Black Bears.
You were
Close.
the Black Bears.
You were close.
You know that. My mother went to University of Maine. But yeah, I like Maine at home against Vermont. I really like this game.
6-2 at home this year. Catamounts. Vermont is 4-9 on the road this year.
They can't. I've watched this team. It's just not the same Vermont team, man. They don't play well on the road, and Maine's going to be looking for revenge. This is a money making game, people. You don't have to watch Connecticut play Houston or Duke to make money. You can take some of these smaller schools and just follow them. Binghamton, and you, if you like,
couple America East matchups to get you some money.
Yeah,
get you there.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Another one you got tomorrow, the Big 12, 2:00, West Virginia playing at Baylor. Both these teams not very inconsistent. You had West Virginia lost to BYU at home. I couldn't believe that. I thought they winning the whole game and gave it up in the end. Now they got to go to Baylor, who, what a disappointment this year. I mean, this Baylor team just lost to Houston, but they were supposed to be solid.
No, top 10 preseason ranking.
Yeah.
Bryce Drew coach team. They've been competitive for the last 10, 12 years. Definitely just don't have the horses this year, Howie.
They're fighting to get into the tournament now. I mean,
yeah,
they got the Roach kid from Duke. They're not consistent. I don't know. West Virginia's not playing well either right now. And, I mean, they have to pretty much win out to get in this tournament. Baylor, that'll be an interesting, probably one or two. You probably want to take Baylor at home.
Howie, before we get into another one, I got to go back to noon again. I forgot about this team. I really actually wanted to mention them earlier because I'm gonna phrase something here as we move forward here in the basketball season. I'm gonna call it DRing. Dick riding, Howie. This is a team I'm going to hop on their dicks and I'm going to ride them into the March Madness. Clemson Tigers right now, 8-12 against the number, all upperclassmen right now, Howie. Yeah. All upperclassmen. Elite 8 team last year. These guys are battle tested. You can get them at plus 1,800 to make the Final Four right now. So watch old Steve-O over here, dick riding the Clemson Tigers
plus
into March Madness.
That's a hell of a value.
Great value right now. So there's a couple value plays I'm going to give the people here today. I got 3 teams. This was one I had circled, so I wanted to go back to it. But Clemson Tigers right now, all upperclassmen, team that's getting it done. When you go back to back and you slap, I shouldn't say slap. They slapped the shit out of North Carolina Monday night, and then at home, and then they beat Duke last Saturday at home. So that's a team you got to keep on your radar. Look at it right now. Throw a little bit of pizza money down for the Tigers.
3 of those guys went to the Final 8 last year, the Elite 8.
Yep.
Lost to Alabama when I think Alabama shot by 3. Like 15 for 18 from the 3. They didn't miss. They could have easily made the Final Four last year.
Yeah, no, I agree. So that's just a team with that value to make the Final Four I had circled. So
I like it. I like you tossing that out because that's something. Yeah, that's a great value.
They're playing Florida State on the road on Saturday. We'll see what the number is. Not sure, but I will be DR in the Tigers.
I like that. Here. Another team that looks like they may be starting to get it together a little bit. Had a huge win in Creighton 2 nights ago. UConn playing at Seton Hall. Very, 2.5 hour drive to Seton Hall from UConn. I think that line's probably going to be big. Seton Hall's probably going to be getting 10, 11, 12 points at least. At home.
I would say 12 to 13.
Yeah.
As much as we call him a psychopath, whatever you want to label Danny Hurley as, the guy can coach. He can coach it. He's going to get these guys ready. Yeah, he's going to get them ready for the tournament.
Come on, baby. Good, my internet. There we go. Yeah, I think you kind of probably rolling that. My internet just went here. Come on. So give us another. Here we go.
I got another one here for you. If you want me to jump into a game, I'm trying to find out what time it was. It was the afternoon. I got Cincinnati at Iowa State. Iowa State is a team that people are starting to get behind. See some steam coming with the
Well,
Cyclones,
they're
right?
healthy. They just got the kid back.
Not me. Not me. I'm gonna give you that plus 300 for Iowa State to make the Final Four. You take that and put your money there. I'm gonna put my money on the Clemson Tigers. I do not like this Iowa State team. I know everybody says that they're great on defense, but they're actually not that good. They rank 50th nationally in points per game allowed. That's not a team. That's not a statistic that in March gets it done. This is a team I'm not going to back. I'm going to let everybody else jump on them because that's why they're down to plus 300 to make the Final Four. I'm going to leave the Cyclones out. They are a tough team. They're going through a rigorous schedule in the Big 12 this year, but they're a team that I'm going to leave off. And Cincinnati is a team that's playing better basketball right now. So if I can get 6.5 in this one on a Saturday afternoon, I'm probably going to jump on the Bearcats and ride my boy Wes Miller.
All right. Well, we're on the opposite ends of that because I
right.
like Iowa State. I like the guards, and I got them early on at like plus 11, plus 1,200.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the difference with them is the big kid, the big 6'9" kid. When he plays, they're solid. If he doesn't play, they can be had. But he came
That's a
back
4
the last
o'clock
two
game.
games, and they've won.
Yeah.
I like Cincinnati. I just think that this team, Iowa State, when healthy, they remind me a lot like Houston. They're tough. Those guys are so tough to stop.
No, and I can't argue here right now in this game, so that's why I probably don't have much of a play in this actual game. But Iowa State on a whole, they're stock up for a lot of people, just stock down for me right now.
Another big game, and this is crazy. You got a road covering machine, Missouri, playing at the hardest place I think in the SEC to play is the Barn and University of Georgia. Missouri playing at Georgia. Look for Missouri maybe to be laying 2 or 3 points at Georgia. I like this Missouri team. They went in, smacked Oklahoma, which I had Missouri. But before that, they lost to Texas A&M and Tennessee. Now they go into Georgia. I don't know, man. This is going to be a close game.
And those were close games, though, too, Howie. The Missouri game against A&M lost by 3. I think they were they laying 1.5 in that one? I was definitely on the Tigers in that game. And then they lost by 4 against Tennessee, and then they slapped the shit out of Mississippi State before that. So they're playing good basketball, but like we've said for the last month, Georgia's a tough place to win. In the SEC, they're 11-6 against the number at home this year.
Auburn beat them by 2.
I'll
probably lay some on Georgia. I like Georgia. I mean, I like them at home.
At home, yep.
I like them at home. That's it. Not on the road, but home they're a different team. And that's the way it is. Certain teams, you can't fall in love with a team, but if you like them at home, speaking of home advantage, the 4 o'clock game, Auburn plus an underdog going to next door to the rival Alabama.
1 versus 2, Howie.
Yeah. And again, Alabama's at home. This is what a rivalry. This game will be crazy. This is a game I'm probably going to sit back and watch. Probably not even going to bet it.
No, a game you could just thoroughly enjoy without any action. But Howie, I'm bringing the phrase up again. I'm dick riding Alabama all the way. Nate Oates, that boy can coach. I got him at plus 1,100 to win it all a week ago. They're plus 850 today to win it all. So stock up on Alabama. Roll Tide, Final Four team of last year. Really could have won it all, but they lose to UConn in the Final Four last year.
Either it might have been UConn or Houston. Somebody smacked them.
Yeah,
but I think it was UConn.
Yeah, so they're going to be a team that's battle tested. Their stock is up right now. Alabama at home is going to be tough Saturday afternoon. I know Johnny Broom's one of the top 2 players in college basketball right now for Auburn Tigers, but I like Bama at home. I think they get it done in this one.
I think this is a game. The one thing I will say is watch the freshman guard from Auburn, Pettigrew, whatever, the kid from Jersey City, Pettigrew. This is a game where Pearl might just put him in and say, take the whole game over.
Go.
Because, in my opinion, he's the best player on that floor. I mean, I like the little left-handed guard for Alabama, but this kid Pettigrew,
Pettiford.
Yep. Watch him in the NBA, man. This kid, he's got Kyrie Irving type skills.
Handles.
He could score on anyone at any time. Good sized guard. Actually brings him off the bench. That's probably going to change going into this tournament because this kid he just makes big shots whenever you need him.
Yep.
So I'll just sit back and watch him. I like this kid. We got a couple other games. 6 o'clock Saturday, Villanova, Providence. I don't have a lean on that one.
Nova coming off a huge home win against the Johnnies the other night. You know, they were up, they were down.
Anything, you probably want to take Providence.
Yeah.
That's where the Big East works.
Sure, 100%.
But this game, Mississippi State going into Mississippi again, rivalry weekend.
SEC.
You know, Mississippi State just doesn't cover. I'm kind of down on them. I think Mississippi, if you were ever going to get a win, it's against your rival here. In Mississippi, I just think it's a much better team. I like Chris Beard's squad here.
I do too. Both stink against the number in the last 10, 2-8 and 4-6 for both of these teams. I'm taking the home team here in this one. I don't know. I can't get behind the way Mississippi State's been playing the last few weeks here. And Chris Beard, another guy that's going to turn up the dial. He's going to turn it up, get his boys going. So I like Ole Miss in this one at home.
What about your team in Carolina going up to Syracuse?
Fuck them.
You can't bet.
Howie, I'm done with them. I'm done with them. They've totally. This is a team that had Florida, the 3rd-ranked team in the nation, on the ropes a month ago, and now they're a totally different team. They're not playing consistent at all. They don't play defense. Their offense is abysmal. They've got 4 guards. 3 of them can't shoot, and they all sit around the 3-point line and stand around waiting for somebody to do something. They don't rebound. They're not tough. But Syracuse stinks too, so this is just going to be a stinker. I was actually supposed to go to this game. Not going to go. I used my cousin's kid's birthday party as an excuse. Yeah. But really, who wants to travel in the snow to watch your team play mediocre basketball? Not me. I don't know. I can't get behind anything North Carolina is doing right now.
No, I hear you. The game I really like, you got Kentucky going into Texas. The line's going to be closer, and I think Kentucky right now with Butler back, you saw the difference that kid makes.
100% difference.
I mean, they won huge the other day, and now they're going to Texas. You can't bet against. I mean, they played Tennessee, but they played well. I mean, they beat Tennessee by 20, February 11th. But now they go to Texas, and I like Kentucky. I like them on the road here.
Yeah, you winners of 2 in a row against the number, and to beat a team the way how many they beat Tennessee by? It was 20. Double figures. Yeah.
Thing is, you can't pressure.
They beat them by 11.
Butler's just a man against boys. I mean,
they beat Tennessee by 11. I don't mind them going on the road. This Texas team's really not that good. Definitely not as good as we probably thought they were a month ago. So I like Kentucky on the road.
Another game here. It's like, what in the world happened at Michigan State going to Illinois? I don't know what that line is going to be, but Michigan State's got some issues right now. They can't win.
No. Losers of 3 out of their last 4, and not looking too good either. They were favorites in all those games, and they covered 1.
Here's 2 blowout alerts. We don't have the lines on it, but South Carolina going to Florida. That could be a possible 20-point plus game.
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas State going to Brigham Young, who just went, where'd they go? Into Central Florida, beat them? Somebody on the road. But now Brigham Young goes to Kansas State. They just went to West Virginia and beat them.
It's actually at BYU, that game, Howie.
This game's at BYU, which is why I said blowout alert. I can see BYU winning this game by 20. That's what they do at home.
Sure. Kansas State, I mean, they beat Iowa State by 19. They beat Kansas by 18.
Yeah.
What the frig? Wow.
Where'd
they come from? Yeah.
At home. Another one, too. You got Kansas coming up that loss. Now they go to Utah. Utah's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, they are.
You know?
I think we went against them last week and won some money.
And you finish up in the WAC. You got 2 of the best teams in the WAC. Boise State visiting San Diego State. Look for that line to be 1 or 2. San Diego State's a team. Watch them. They don't play well in the first half. I'm telling you, I don't care who San Diego State plays.
Mm-hmm.
The first half, they'll be down or not even close to. And then I don't know what happens to this team, but they come out in the second half of these games and they drop 40, 50 points. So if anything, you may want to look at taking Boise State in the first half and then waiting. It could be a good hedge.
If you're up in a little whack action. Yeah, Kansas or San Diego State's 3-9 against the number at home this year, but Boise State stinks on the road too. So at least a number to keep an eye on. If you're up, maybe you had a couple beers, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But a game to maybe get you some late night action, get you home into Sunday morning.
Absolutely. I mean, the MAC always been respectable, especially in the tournament. They'll have 2 or 3 teams. You got Boise State, San Diego State, New Mexico solid. But look, that's it. We got a loaded slate on Saturday. Look, if you like what you just heard, hit the like button. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. Go to our Whop Discord, Degenerate Gamblers. We're going to be on there all day Saturday. Live bets, hedging, talking about different games. There's a bunch of guys on there. That's all they do is follow college hoops, and it's all about banking. So
Howie, $24.99. We're gonna get you that money back in your first week of play. Yeah. Get on it, guys. It's an app. It's easy. Get the Whop.com app. Get on the Discord. We're on it every single day. Every day, giving you winners. So $24.99. It's well worth the value.
That's it, man. And I can't wait. Starting tonight, tons of games. Bad weather, it doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
9 to 11 TVs and sit back.
It's basketball, baby. That's right, Howie.
All right, brother.
Have a weekend.